What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. Big shout to Masako X for joining me in the discussion, but we have to talk about something very, very important. But before you start watching my video, let me just go ahead and just do a big plug real fast. In the description of this video, there's going to be a genetical breakdown of genetics and the evolutions in Saiyans by Masako X. Actually, it's a beautiful video. I've literally watched it like twice now, and I highly recommend you guys go watch that first, because he will give you the full breakdown, like actual science actual science explaining the evolutions of Saiyans in Universe 6 as well as the comparison to Universe 7. So go check that out and then come back here and watch this, or watch this first and then go check that out. Either way, you can't watch this video without watching that one, so figure out how you're gonna do it. But today we're gonna specifically talk about Kale as well as Caulifla's transformations this past weekend. I guess technically small spoiler alert in case you haven't watched that, but I'm sure everybody has at this point. So yeah, but we're not gonna talk about anything about the episodes itself. We're just gonna talk about the transformation itself. There is an outrage. Masako, do you know what the outrage actually is right now?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd like to clarify is that the video that we were talking about, I had my partner Philly help out with that one because she is a scientist and a zoologist, and she has masters from like Cambridge and Durham University on the whole matter. So she knows what she's talking about, and she really helped me with this research. But
actual science.
Oh,
actual science.
Proper biology right here. This is stuff that you'd learn at high school. And yeah, so check out the video if you want to have the specifics. But the main controversy about this matter is that people were talking about, oh, Caulifla and Kale were just like, you know, they could get Super Saiyans so easily with a tingly feeling in the back, and basically it's bullshit. But it was a knee-jerk reaction, that's for sure. I mean, people were a little bit iffy that Kaba gained the power too easily, and I must admit, in terms of drama, Toei could have done better. But you know, Kaba, he was picked for Universe 6 for a reason. But yeah, there's a reason for that. With Caulifla and Kale, Caulifla is seen by her brother Renzo, who's a Saiyan elite, to be way stronger than him, and Kale is Caulifla's protege. So if pretty much one of the strongest Saiyans around has a protege that she thinks is strong too, then I think it stands to reason that it's justifiable to see this, and it's not just fan service.
So basically, they already have the potential for the transformation. But we have to look at this from the evolution standpoint, because remember, Universe 6 and Universe 7 are two different setups. Twin universes do not literally mean twins. I want to kind of point it out again because people keep saying, well, do you think there's a Universe 7 version of this or Universe 6 version of that? No, they absolutely have nothing to do with each other. They're just kind of set up in a twin setup. So there's an Earth in both Universe 6 and there's an Earth in Universe 7. But kind of opposite setups, because we know Earth was destroyed in Universe 6 when they did the tournament. So they got that restored. But point is, they're twin universes, but not literally twins. With that said, Universe 7, you have a setup where this very lovely fella, what was his name? I think Freezy Pop, I think that was his name. He decided that he was going to be a prick and try to rule the universe. And in the process of doing that, he decided to enslave a planet called Planet Vegeta. And basically what happened was he made them do his bidding. However, anytime any of these Saiyans even became remotely quote-unquote strong, and the reason I put quotes around that is because they weren't really that strong. They just kind of compared to the strength as Frieza's elites, so like Zarbon and Dodoria. Yeah. Anytime anybody became strong at all, they got killed off. And ultimately, spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen this, he destroys the planet at some point, and that's it. That's the end of the Saiyans. Now, a couple Saiyans did escape, and over the course of like, what, 20, 30, 40 years, we see these guys evolve at a crazy level. Now, if it took 20 or 30, 40 years for Goku, Vegeta, you know, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks to evolve that fast, now picture a universe where the Saiyans don't get destroyed. They're able to freely train. These guys are genetical geniuses. I mean, as far as the potential they have to grow and become powerful, it's like unlimited. But they don't have a tyrant known as Frieza stopping them. So now if you have them in this universe where they can literally just kind of keep getting stronger, on top of that, they're always fighting for good. They're going all out the universe, helping Universe 6. You have crazy potential. But the problem is, they probably never felt the situation to transform. Because like in Universe 7, we were taught that, you know, Super Saiyans kind of happen during times of like pure rage. For example, Krillin gets killed. What happens? Goku transforms. Bam. Another one, obviously, is Android 16 getting his head stomped out, causing Gohan to go Super Saiyan 2. There was that rage moment that really triggered them. However, because Universe 6 is a lot more peaceful, there's probably no real reason for any of these Saiyans to kind of get triggered. I mean, Kabe's best insult was, what do you call it, a monkey? Is that what he said? I forgot what he said.
Blockhead.
Blockhead.
Yeah.
So if you have someone that's not even like rude, like I can't picture the Universe 6 Saiyans becoming that angry. But then again, it's a speculation and theory. I don't know how every single Saiyan is in Universe 6. And for all you know, maybe there is a Saiyan in Universe 6 that transformed but just didn't tell anybody. They're probably going to never tell us the stuff because that's what Toei does. The point is, Universe 6 has Saiyans that have evolved over countless years as opposed to the 20, 30, 40 years in Universe 7. And you can expect that they are a lot more powerful. With that said, now that they have figured out a secret, or I guess kind of like a guide, a tutorial, I mean, Masako, when you don't know when you're looking for like a tutorial, what do? You go to YouTube or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much. She's just trying to see if anyone else has already had that similar problem.
Exactly. So now picture freaking Kabe who finds the ability to transform. He goes back to Universe 6 and he shows these other universes or these other Saiyans in his universe that transformations can be a thing. It could be a lot more easy accessible. Now I think the bigger rage isn't the fact that, you know, Caulifla and even Kale, I guess. Kale's a different story, which we'll talk about briefly later, but mostly Caulifla. It's not the fact that she transforms so easily. I think the bigger rage that the community's been talking about is the fact that he wants Super Saiyan 2. How do you feel about the Super Saiyan 2 thing? Do you think that one still makes sense?
Well, I believe that probably the whole tingly back thing could just be an alternative way to actually attain the Super Saiyan form, thanks to the evolution of the Saiyans of Universe 6. Because the one thing you could say is that the scenario, how they're so different, is that the whole legendary Super Saiyan thing that happened around like age 238, like 500 years before the events of Dragon Ball happened, that never took place. And actually, it's my belief, because I did a history of the Saiyans video, where I talked about that the Saiyans might not necessarily have been their own race, but a tribe, a variation of the same species that were on planet Sadler, but obviously the legendary Super Saiyan came out, destroyed part of the universe, and they ultimately won, and, you know, were the reigning supreme people on that planet. But since the Universe 6, that never happened. They either crossbred with that same species, and then became, since Saiyan genes in my genetic video are dominant, they are pretty dominant in pretty much many things, it could be said that they evolved much more effectively. And in peacetime, there's plenty of time for Nookie and getting down with the dirty. So yeah, there's more chances for evolution and progression and mutations and all that stuff. So you get perfections. And these are Saiyans like 100 years more evolved. And Vegeta made it quite clear in Z that he managed to negate the weaknesses of a Saiyan tail. It was a relic of their heritage. That he and Nappa no longer feel effect. If you pull their tails, nothing's gonna happen. So yeah. And the only reason that they still had it is because it still unlocked the powers of the Ozaru form. But obviously now, the Universe 6 Saiyans have been able to access this power or something like that without needing to change into a great giant monkey.
Yeah, they don't even have tails.
No, they don't need them. They don't need them at all.
Yeah.
They don't need to change into a giant monkey. They already have that power within them. And they've used that good nature and benevolent demeanor to actually help them. I mean, they are still like mercenaries and fighters, but they're a source of good. And, you know, likes of Frost work with them. I mean, you know, you got Frost and the Saiyans working together, like Frieza and the Saiyans worked for about like 6 years. And, you know, that was a tumultuous 6 years of Frieza working with the Saiyans, wasn't it?
Yeah. And like the thing about Caulifla going Super Saiyan 2, she probably didn't even like. I think it is. It's still speculation whether or not that is Super Saiyan 2, but to me,
oh, it is. It totally is. But I mean,
it totally is.
The thing that gives it away is if you're trying to tell the difference between Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, electricity. It's yeah. I mean, technically, Super Saiyan 2 is the ultimate Super Saiyan form that anyone could realistically achieve. It used to be Super Saiyan Grade 5 for a year. Before we actually had confirmation of the Buu Saga from Goku that it's called Super Saiyan 2. But yeah, it was just another evolution of the Super Saiyan form. It was the Ascended Saiyan. Or as Goku in the English dub awkwardly said, this is the level of the Super Saiyan that ascended beyond the level of a Super Saiyan. Well, it's better than Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, Caulifla probably is not aware of that she did that. She just thought,
that's
well,
what I was gonna say,
power up. Oh, look at this. Oh,
exactly. So Kabe probably can do it too, and he just doesn't even know yet. Just the thing is Kabe's first sight, we'll say transforming, excuse me, has been during that tournament, and he was like, oh snap, they can do that? I didn't even know that. Yeah. And next thing you know, he goes home with that little bit of information, they can transform, and he teaches his fellow Saiyans to do it as well, and they can do it as well. Caulifla probably didn't know it, but I think the bigger one that I guess the community is kind of afraid of is whether or not Caulifla is going to go Super Saiyan 3, and we also want to discuss it in here before we end this video. Masako, do you think we'll see a Super Saiyan 3 Caulifla? Why or why not?
I don't think we will. Because the reason why Super Saiyan 3 is such a rarity is because Goku could only access that form because he was dead. And he's in the other world. His body is not encumbered with limitations. That's why he could go Super Kaioken. He could use the Kaioken in Super Saiyan form because it didn't really matter. He wasn't going to have to tear his bodies apart because it's already dead. The body is a metaphysical construct. And he could learn the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, but when he went on the physical world, he burnt through all his time from Fortune Teller Baba's good wishes. That's the only reason he could even do it, because he was kind of like channeling a remote link to the other world, and that broke it down. The reason why Gotenks could do it is because 2 Super Saiyans fusing together and some training in the time chamber meant that, yeah, it was possible. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to do it individually, but together, yeah, quite possible. And Vegeta, he could technically learn it, but he doesn't see the point in it. I mean,
because it drains too much.
Yeah,
and on top of that, you have Super Saiyan Blue now.
And I think Caulifla, I don't think Caulifla could access it, because even after all the centuries of extra evolution that the Universe 6 Saiyans have, so, as I say, it is wrong to compare on the physical level Universe 6 and Universe 7 Saiyans, so you can't compare the two. They are apples to oranges, pretty much.
Right.
You know, but I don't think that we could realistically see it, and if we did, and I believe that you're going to say that we could, it would be a bad move.
Yeah, it would definitely be a bad move. But what I was going to say is, if she does happen to do it, it would fizzle off fast. Because the thing is, okay, Super Saiyan 1, I'll accept. Super Saiyan 2, I will accept. Super Saiyan 3, if she can freely use it and kind of have it mastered like she does with Super Saiyan 1 and 2, that one's going to be questionable. Because, like, okay, look, I know you're built differently than the Universe 7 Saiyans, and you're a prodigy, and you're a genius, but Super Saiyan 3 is very draining on you, and unless she transforms and it immediately, like, runs out within, like, you know, couple minutes, it wouldn't make sense. I mean, I could see Toei digging into it just for the fact of fan service to see Super Saiyan 3 kind of come back, because people like Super Saiyan 3, but it's been less relevant over the course of the last couple years, especially in Dragon Ball Super with the introduction of Super Saiyan Blue. But I feel like they could introduce it briefly and then it'll fizzle out. Now, the problem is, if it doesn't fizzle out and she's using it, then feel free to grab your pitchforks and torches, because that one will be kind of a bit more questionable. Because remember, it took Goku years and years to master it with a dead body. So if Caulifla, even though she's a prodigy, if she goes Super Saiyan 3 and she's like freely using it without having any issues with ki and stamina, we'll probably have a whole another video about that later. And I really hope that doesn't happen, because that's the one that we can actually rage about. I mean, but Super Saiyan 1 and 2. No, they're
Super
fine.
Saiyan 3, what could be really funny is if Vegeta saw Caulifla doing it and he just goes, "Ha! You think that form is actually effective? Oh, you know nothing, girl."
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity to make it right and entertaining. Because at the end of the day, this show is for entertainment.
If you subvert the form and just so, oh, look how stupid you're being, Super Saiyan 3 is completely useless, then you could forgive that. Yeah, and then she runs out of energy and stamina and she loses the fight because of the form. That I will accept. But if she transforms and she's kicking everyone's ass and she's okay with it, then I'm gonna question it. Oh, hey, why don't we just make a Super Saiyan 4 while we do it?
Might as well at that point.
Oh god, am I gonna see Art of Super Saiyan 4 Caulifla? Super Saiyan, oh no, she could be the legendary Super Saiyan 5! And she could learn that in a day!
But by the end of this video, I guarantee someone's gonna draw Super Saiyan 4 Caulifla. And if you do, tweet it at us.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to mention is Kale. Kale also is an anomaly. That's a mouthful to say. An anomaly. I briefly spoke about her transformation on a video this past week, and what I think she is she has a specific genetic makeup where when she transforms, as opposed to being as simple as, Caulifla and Kabe transforming, her power just kind of goes out of control, causes her to expand, Broly style, and rage out. And if you want to watch that video, I kind of break it down with Geekdom. I will link that in the description below as well. But that's kind of like how I see it. So with that said, now that we kind of discussed the difference between Universe 6 and 7, how do you guys feel about them transforming now? Do you still disagree with it? How would you feel about the Super Saiyan 3 thing? And, you know, anything else that we discussed, let us know in the comment section below.
Well, before we leave, I do want to like mention something about the whole Kale thing. And this might actually be some good thing. Because I did a video about Super Saiyan color theory. And I talked about why the Super Saiyan hair for Broly and now Kale is green might have something to do with a tinged chakra. Because a tinged green aura mixed with another color actually can refer to sustained and great emotional trauma. What do Broly and Kale have in common? Sustained emotional trauma. Broly, because Kakarot cried. I know it still sounds weird, but that's true. And then years and years of servitude by his father. And then Kale, who seems to basically either have some kind of form of Stockholm syndrome, you know, with under Caulifla. But yeah, she's got that too. That might explain the hair color and why we've seen that, and why we just see a pent-up chakra and pent-up energy is now corrupted, and we now see this berserker form, which ties into what you said.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. No, I talk about that in my color theory video on my channel as well. Also
linked in the description below. But before you watch anything, make sure you watch the genetic breakdown that Masako did this past week. It's a really good video. I actually, like I said, I watched it twice. I rarely watch discussions twice. So check everything out. With that said, let us know your thoughts on Kale and Caulifla and all the Super Saiyan shenanigans, the Super Saiyan bargain sale. In fact, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to hashtag Super Saiyan bargain sale all over the comments. And of course, let us know your thoughts and everything we discussed down below. Masako, is there anything else you want to add before we end this?
No, not really. I think we pretty much covered anything. But I think the one thing I'd just like to say is that if you know somebody who is getting up in arms about Caulifla, Kale, and Universe 6 Saiyans, just take them aside and just say, they're not the same. You can't compare the two. This is a whole new take on what we've got. And, you know, we still have our Universe 7 Saiyans. These are just a variation. This is just a giant what if. So just remember that. And people like what ifs. So just treat it as one. So it's all okay. Everything is fine. You still got your Dragon Ball.
Yep. With that said, let us know your thoughts and everything down below. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time.